Here's a quick heads up. It's all about my frustration in maybe my learning, but also getting you inspired to learn even more and be and do even more. Have a listen. I really hope you enjoy it. Hi, welcome. And if you're new to this is the FMQ, the 5-minute podcast that tries to break down the complicated into simples. Because in simplicity there's genius. Lots of small snippets of advice where you can really learn to change the life you want and increase everything about you to live your life to your full potential. It's 5 minutes and it's with me, Paul Clough. I'm a hypnotist, a trainer of NLP, trainer of hypnosis and lots of other stuff with the mind. So just enjoy, and if you want deeper stuff, go to the longer podcast. And there's a mass of information here, but all you have to do is enjoy. It might be just the difference that makes a difference.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Okay, so this is going to cost you £100. Would that make any difference to you? Would there be a perceived quality to it? Now, what am I talking about? And I'm not quite sure yet where this is going to go. But I do think sometimes that we don't put a price, or more importantly, a value on our learning and a value on what we do and what we create in ourselves. You see, how much would you pay for something that could teach you something that would change your life? How much would you pay? How much would you pay, say, if you were clinically depressed? Totally, real sad. How much would you pay to let that go? What would be the value of it? Because that's different, isn't it? What you'd pay to the value. Let's talk about value. What would the value be? If you've got anxiety to the point where you can't function, what would be the value to let that go and be calm and comfortable in things that you do? I wonder, you see, because I was thinking about gyms the other day, and you get really expensive gyms, can't you? Are they any better than the cheap and cheerful gyms? Now, I tend to think of the really expensive ones as being more of a pampering thing. I know people who go there for different reasons. They go because of ego, because they like to go to that particular gym and be seen as a member or talk about being a member. But I also know other people who will go to the cheap and cheerful gyms and really get value out of it. They get value so much more than they ever pay. They even get value. The most important thing is they get value for the effort they put in, because they value that value, if that makes sense. So what do you value learning? One of the thoughts I had was if you were to pay £100 for this podcast or any other podcast, not just this one, would the content be any different? No, it wouldn't, would it? Content would be just the same, but I think the value that you put on the content would be that much different. I think you'd probably concentrate more. I think you'd probably take notes. I think you would probably do the exercises because you paid for it. But think about it. You're paying in your time. You're paying in your effort. But more importantly, you're getting such a return on that investment. The value. So maybe, these are free. But let's put it in the context, I apologize for that, of value. If I did the things and I practiced the things that I learn, and I put effort in learning and practicing, what would happen at the end of, say, a fortnight, 2 weeks? What would happen at the end of a month? The end of 6 months? The end of a year? Man, what would the value be then? So this is just a little bit of frustration, and it's not just this frustration in me, I know, because I know I could learn more. And I sometimes sit back and I don't learn the things that I know that would make my life totally different. And that's got to change. It has to change because I value that now. And I want you just to consider, maybe just take 5 minutes with Jenny Journal and write down, how much do you value yourself? How much do you value being able to change? Because you can. Someone sent me an email the other day, and I'm going to do a podcast on it, was, can you really believe change can be easy and quick? Well, yes, it can, if you value it and you really put your intention in it. And that's where we come from. So once you've got a value, things are important to you, you then put the intention in it and you set your state. And we've talked about this forever. That's when changes happen. That's when changes happen quickly. And when you look back, you'll be amazed when you measure where you were to where you are then in the future. My God, it'll be completely different. So it's just maybe a little bit of my frustration, but I really want you to achieve your dreams. And the way to achieve your dreams, I think, is to value them. Make them important. Important to you, number one. Important to the world and everyone in it. And when we do that, we will create a world that we want to live in ourselves, but also create the world that will make it so much better for other people to live in. And it will make a difference. It will make a difference. All you have to do is do and be. So be a beer and a doer. There you go. Didn't know where it was going to go? I hope you take this with the right intention from me, because I want you to just, be more than you think you are, because I know that you're more than you are, because you're always more than that. And as you think of that, you're even more than that. So let's put a value on things before we start. And when you know they're important, take massive intuitive action. The old 5 steps of success. Know your outcome. Take massive intuitive action. Really be aware of where you are and where you're going and what you're doing, so you can keep being flexible enough to keep on track and use that psychology and physiology of excellence, the acting as if. And when you know that it's important to you, you will have that intention and act as if. And then the acting as if just suddenly becomes natural. There you go. Have more fun than you can stand, as usual, and enjoy every heartbeat. Speak to you real soon. Hey, here's your usual last-minute reminder. Now, time is, very rare, and we need to look after our time. And I know your time is called upon by other things and other people to share their works too. So the next time you're thinking about sharing, if you could just think about this podcast and share it with maybe just 2 or 3 of your closest friends, or people who just that would appreciate it. That would be really good, and it would help grow this little niche that we're carving out for ourselves of personal development, unplugged personal development. If you go to iTunes, that would be great if you have the time to subscribe, maybe leave a nice review. That would be even kinder. And one more thing, the one thing I keep banging on about is all the hypnosis and the NLP processes for all the podcasts are now easily to get at paulcloughonline.com/podcasts. No, not podcasts, podcast, singular. And you go there, they're all there for you, and I'm adding to them at least every month. Okay? Do that. You'll have a great time, and they're all downloadable. So they're in one place, they're downloadable, and you can have more fun than you can stand doing it. There's also loads of stuff on paulcloughonline.com. There's Supreme Inner Confidence. It's a lovely program to grow your self-esteem and really have the confidence that I know you have got, but allow it to come to the fore so you can be truly aligned and get the goals and the dreams that you want. There's also Free Your Life from Anxiety. It's a lovely course, I believe it's a lovely course, to let go of anxiety, because no one needs it in the world at all. You don't need the anxiety, you don't need the stress. Learn how to just let it go. And again, that Supreme Inner Confidence, what more do you need? And on that Free Your Life of Anxiety program, the first 5 days are absolutely free. So you can test it, and even, you never know, you might even let go of your anxiety in those first 5 days. People do. Hey, have a look around, have a poke around. There's lots of stuff there, and enjoy. And if you didn't know, you can also get this podcast on Spotify now. Hey, until next time, have more fun than you can stand.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.